This time what I'm going to do is, let's just get rid of that black background. What I'm going to do is show you how to get a more painterly effect so that it looks less like a drawing that's been colored. So I'll make a new layer and let's move this to the top. I'll call it 3 and we'll call this flat. I'm going to actually leave the ink line sort of in there, but bring it down to so about 20%. I'm going to take all these, select them all and merge layers. And now we have a single layer here. Just call it alien. And what I'm going to do is use the smudge tool. I'm using my brush bleedy tool. You can find this brush if you don't have it in the notes below. Let's go in and just start using this very fun tool. I like this look, but maybe some projects you need something a bit cleaner. I'm just painting and my strength is 97%, so I'm getting a really good strength on this. If I brought this down, then I would have to work a lot harder to use it. For me, 100 is usually too much, and 97 is like a nice range to work in. And now, depending on what kind of brush I use, I can get a cleaner smudge or I can get a more natural brush effect. And I like the natural brush effect. I spent far too long in my life working with those clean flash vectors. I began animation by hand, and for me, I'm just sick of those vector brush line styles. I'm done with them. So I kind of like this effect a lot better. I like being able to animate with this kind of more natural freewheeling style. More like what you would do on paper. Okay. No offense to anyone who likes those, I just don't. Okay, so as you can see, any mess that I had or any corrections I wanted to make, I can do it. I've gone a bit too far with it, so I'm undoing that, making the brush a bit smaller. And you can do things like this where you get a nice little highlight. So now if I just switch on the layer beneath, we got this guy and then this one. So if I put them side by side, let me move the blurry guy over here. You can see very hard black line like a drawing. And here we're having a drawing that looks much more, well, like a painting, like you've got a brush painting this thing. And depending on how far you want to take it, you can just go further. I'm making this very quickly as a quick demonstration, so you see the workflow. I'm not really trying to make a masterpiece of art. I just want to show you how you can maximize your control over the creation of this kind of image. And see how I'm getting a nice suggestion of the lip here. Pretty cool. So that's it. I'm not going to finish that one anymore, but just do that to show you the difference between, you know, the basic nice natural media look and then applying a nice natural media brush smudge over it. So that is no end to this, like how far you can take it, you know, and you can do things like you don't have to just smudge the whole thing into one area. All kind of these little very cool effects and things. Kind of an effect you'll never get, I think anyway, in something like Animate CC, or I've used Harmony. I like Harmony, but I just find I have a harder time getting these kind of Photoshop kind of brush effects. And for me, this is fun. Like this area here, this line's too much, so I thin it out. And again, we can do this kind of thing over the line. I will stop myself now before I spend another hour working on this. So the smudge tool, first you make a copy so that you have your original that you can go back to if you mess it up, because I guarantee you will. You probably want to go back, maybe change colors, do other things. So you've got your original file here that you can then go back to make another version. So smudging and how to make your drawing look more like a painting.